Hey everyone, so in today's video I will be talking about one of the books that we read as part of our course. This was the first book that we had read. It's a very interesting book. The title of the book is called Finnish Lessons: What the World Can Learn from Educational Change in Finland. The author of this book is Pasi Solberg. Pasi Solberg has been a teacher educator, policy maker. He's an international education expert, currently residing in Australia, and he's a pretty quite well-known personality from Finland. I highly recommend this book if you are in the field of education, and if you're also interested in knowing about the Finnish education system, because the way he has written this book is in very simple language. He starts from the history of how Finland was like from the war situation, and how it has come all the way what it is right now, and he also talks about what the future is to come like about. It's so two things that caught my attention in the beginning of the book was where he talks about equity. Equity is, and I myself have been reflecting how equity is seen in the Indian context as well. Because there was a time in Finland where not everyone could have equal opportunity to go to school, for which Finland has something very well worked upon. But also, let me remind you that Finland is a very small country. It has just a population of about just 5 million people, and it's a pretty much homogeneous culture. So there has to be certain favorable conditions for the system to function in a certain way. Like I mentioned previously, in a country like India, when we have 1.3 billion people with vast diversities in every state, it's a bit of a challenge. It's not that easy. But what I really appreciate about what this author does is that he makes it very clear in the beginning of the book that he doesn't want to convince anyone that Finland has the best education or the worst education, because it's highly unreasonable when we start comparing countries, because every country has its own political, socio-political, economic, cultural aspects, which are very different, and bringing over there, okay, this particular country is doing well, this particular country is not doing well. It's slightly not the right way to do it. So I think one question that probably we can keep thinking is, when we work in a country like India, how can we make sure that every child has the access to all the educational opportunities that he or she deserves? I remember while I was working in Eklavya, so making sure that children get access to storybooks, children get access to library, so that everybody can have resources. I think that should be our priority. There's a very interesting Finnish term called samalta vivalta, which means equal opportunities. Like, just like there's a starting line, and then everybody is on that line. Everybody starts from that line, so that it's not like somebody is starting from the beginning, another person is beginning slightly from the behind, or there's someone who has more resources is starting a little ahead. So how can we have a society where everybody is on the same line? So that was something for us to think about. Again, yeah, so that's the one thing that's being constantly talked about in the book. The second thing what I want to share is he also critiques the PISA assessment. PISA is the performance of international student assessment. Is program, sorry, I apologize, it's a program for international student assessment. There's a very it's a slightly controversial kind of assessment again. It does not really take into consideration, because there he is stating that there are several reasons, like one is such as you are looking at how 15-year-old students are performing in a test, and then based on that test you are agreeing that okay, this country's education system is doing well. So not sure if that's a good way to do the assessment. The second is we have again different socio-economic backgrounds where children are coming from, so that definitely affects of how children will perform in the assessment. So there are certain things that probably we need to look upon, and it's very nice that they don't want to state that okay, we are doing it very well, but definitely I think at the end of the day it should be, are there places where we can learn from each other. So yeah, so this is so this is like just one part of the book that I wanted to share today. So that's about it. Thank you.